Fenty wine girl, don't need to read your mind, I can see the signs, girl. Hey, hey, if love is blind, girl, body like Braille, let me read between the lines, girl. Down like loose change, let's try new things. Way you shake your body, give me new swings. Running through my mind, she go insane. Got me thinking about giving her my last name.
The way you're moving, oh, my baby, they drive me crazy, oh, so crazy, oh, about you, my baby, oh, that's how I really feel. Be like say, I wanna just rock your body, rock your body, rock your body. Be like say, like you might hurt somebody, hurt somebody, hurt somebody. Not trying to just work.
Hi, what's happening YouTube? I'm Brennan.
I'm Helen.
And we are back with a brand new video.
So today we'll be talking about our life story and how we met, how we first met.
If you wonder, what you gonna do?
So, as most of you don't know, I'm originally from Tasmania. I'm not from Darwin. I moved up here in 2014 when my mum offered me a job because when I was working at KFC it just was not enough money. When I did get up here it was a disappointment because my mum and her boyfriend not long after decided to kick me out. And then I went from there, moved house to house, a lot of the same disappointments. And that was when I met you, when I moved into this final house I got into.
Which is October 2015, sorry.
And we started talking on Plenty of Fish. And I went from Plenty of Fish to Snapchat, and then we went from Snapchat to Facebook, and then eventually meeting each other when we went out for dinner. That was even a funny night that night too, because I had enough money in my account and everything, but she insisted on wanting to pay for our own dinner when we were leaving. We'll go on from there to where we just talked on the waterfront, and then you got a phone call from your friend, and she asked, "Oh, do you guys want to go clubbing?" So I was like, "Yeah, we can go." Went clubbing, and yeah, that was different sort of experience. It was fun, and then just things took off from there. Like, do you want to mention your intro to how you met me?
Hello, I'm Helen, and I'm originally not from Australia. I was born in South Sudan, in Khartoum. When I was younger, my dad worked really hard. You know, as you know that Africa is part of third world country. He worked very hard to make sure that we have a stable home and that we are full every night. Yeah, and you know, when I was in Sudan, I almost died because I was sick.
You couldn't walk until you were 2.
Yeah, I did not start walking until I was 2 years old because I was that sick that my mom had to walk from the village all the way to the hospital, which is a long way away compared to, you know, first world country where you've got buses and cars to take you everywhere. But back home we didn't have any transportation whatsoever. Sorry. But yeah, it was a really hard struggle. My mom and dad, you know, did really well for us to keep us healthy and alive, you know. So after that, we stayed there for a couple of years, and then my parents decided to move to Egypt, in Cairo in Egypt. Sorry. We moved there, stayed there for a couple of years, and in 2004 my parents decided that they had enough of Egypt and they decided to come to Australia, and that's when we migrated to Australia from Egypt. Ever since 2004, I've never traveled around Australia. Yes, I know you'll be thinking, what the hell, really, girl? But yeah, I have never gone anywhere around Australia. Just lived in the NT. So NT is basically my second home, you know.
But I actually feel bad for you because, like, I've been technically in every state or territory.
Don't rub it in.
Darwin is the only place I never visited ever.
Darwin is really good. You know, you've got a lot of things, a lot of places. Like if you love going outdoors, there's like a lot of fishing spots, a lot of camping spots, but you have to watch out for crocs.
But I think the only two places I would ever go between would be Queensland and here. I wouldn't go anywhere else.
Yeah, it's like what I said. Darwin is beautiful. You know, the crocodile bit.
And not to mention all the development too. Like Darwin is really developing.
It is. So in the future, it'll be 10 times better than down south. No offense. But like what I stated, that you know, it's beautiful in Darwin. You know, it's just, if you don't like the heat, definitely don't come to Darwin because it's really, really hot. But during dry season, during dry season, it's really, really hot. But sometimes it can be cold. You know, it's just depending on the climate, let's just say, sorry. But yeah, I met my partner in 2015 in October.
And that was when you, not long after we met, like, was it about a month after we met? No, a couple of weeks after we met, you decided, because something was said at home and you decided to leave and come live with me.
Back then in 2015, I was in year 12. My father and I, we had an argument that led me to leave, if that makes sense. So we had an argument and I just said, you know, enough is enough. So just didn't tell them where I was going after school. All they knew is that I was at school, you know.
I still remember all the calls that you got, all those times. Like, I couldn't believe the amount of phone calls. And like every time I asked her, why don't you talk to your dad? Why don't you talk to your mum? Me, I was at the time of not even understanding what had actually happened, so I didn't actually take any recollection of what actually happened.
Back then, I was actually depressed. You know, the fact that how, you know, I couldn't be a normal kid. You know, like my parents were very, very strict. I can't go anywhere from school to home, from home to school. I can't even see friends. I can't even, you know, have like a normal life, socializing with my friends. Like back then, it never happened. So that's when I just decided to say to myself, you know, I'm 18, I can do whatever I want. Enough is enough. So I decided to leave. That's not the only reason to why it led me to leaving my parents' house. But without my year 12 teacher, I would have failed year 12.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were meant to fail, and like
I would have failed. I just said to myself, enough is enough. You know, there was no support there whatsoever. So like, if you don't have any support, how can you keep going? You know, you can't push yourself, especially if you're depressed or you've got a lot of things in your mind. You know, like I just said to myself, enough is enough. So just
Just
left and never came back. Into a month after, my friend called me saying that my mom is looking for me. She came to her house